Taoiseach, we said your decision to cancel energy credits was a terrible call. That removal of this vital support would leave working households under huge pressure, leave them struggling to pay their electricity bills in the face of relentless price hikes this winter. And this morning, it's revealed that you push forward with the withdrawal of energy credits despite stark advice from your own officials. Documents obtained through Freedom of Information by MEP Lynn Boylan reveal 3 damning findings from the internal analysis conducted by the Department of Climate, Energy and Environment ahead of the budget. 1. That the case for energy credits was stronger this year than last year. You knew that annual bills were set to be higher in October 2025 than they were in October 24. 2. Households would have to find an extra €321 to cover their energy bills this winter in the absence of energy credits. And 3. An energy scheme for struggling households was shelved and not included in the budget. It's clear, Taoiseach, from this analysis that energy credits were badly needed this year. You had this advice to hand, you knew energy bills were going up, and yet you still cancelled the one bit of help that people really relied on to pay off these rip-off bills. And this is scandalous, Taoiseach, and people are bearing the brunt of this. People are under huge pressure in the lead-up to Christmas, Taoiseach. They're watching every single euro and they're forced to make really tough choice. I spoke to a mother on Monday. She and her husband are working, and you know what she told me? She talked to me about her 3 kids. They sat down to write their Christmas list last week, and even though they weren't asking for much, she had to convince each and every one of them to drop something off the list. She had to sit them down and explain to those children that even Santa is feeling the cost of living crisis this year. And Taoiseach, do you in any way understand the pressure that ordinary families, the length and breadth of this state, are under this Christmas? Because people see no end in sight, and they see a government that is closed off to their hardship. And it can't go on. You need to act to end the rip-off, to get costs under control and to make life affordable. Your inaction doesn't cut it, and your bluff and spin has run out of road. So, Taoiseach, the question this morning that I'm asking, and I'm sure many, many families are asking, why did you cancel energy credits despite the analysis from your own officials which showed how badly they were needed this year? And will you finally see sense? Will you finally see sense and reinstate those credits to help people through these winter months?
I would say that in the first instance, that tackling energy affordability is a priority of government. People are under pressure. And up to €3.3 billion had been allocated through energy credits. That didn't have any impact in terms of reducing the permanent cost of energy. And of course, the Department of Finance and the Department of Public Expenditure, for the record, would not have supported, or indeed social protection, the universality of energy credits on this occasion. You talk about one group of officials in the Department of Energy who had views, but there was a broad government across there. But also, we took the view that we wanted to concentrate and prioritise our resources to those on the lowest incomes and those who would be most impacted by the energy price increases. And so we did increase the fuel allowance, but we also increased the people who would be entitled to the fuel allowance, particularly people on working family payments. 26% of households now are entitled to the fuel allowance, and that is a help to people facing energy costs. The Sinn Féin budget would have added, you wanted billions and billions of more spending, would have added 2.5% to the rate of inflation, to the cost of living. That's what your proposals would have done. That would have actually disadvantaged people even more. So you have to get the balance right here. It's not fiscally sustainable to have once-off package every single year for the next number of years. It's just not sustainable.
Over 1 million families are going to see pricing increases. Your officials warned you, you chose to ignore them, and you abandoned workers. So can I say to you, again, why did you cancel the energy credits despite the warnings from your own officials? Why did you ignore the fact that arrears reached record levels, that families would have to find €321 and that they would have to pay higher energy costs than ever before during the energy crisis. Why did you choose to ignore all of that and abandon these workers at this time?
Again, Deputy, because we believe in targeting resources as opposed to universality. You must be the only left-wing party in Europe and across the world that doesn't believe in targeting resources. We believe in targeting resources. There's about €2 billion social protection package, which is about protecting pensioners, which is about protecting families with children, and particularly people on low incomes. That's the choice we made, and also to improve our infrastructure. And yes, we do have to, in a more systemic way, deal with energy and a high cost of energy. And there are significant factors in Ireland that leads to high cost of energy, and that's well known and well documented. But the bottom line here, Deputy, is we've had a very significant budget in terms of expenditure. You want to add another €2 billion to it in terms of a short-term intervention, which would apply to very, very wealthy people. Millionaires would benefit from your proposal. I think
please, this
it's
is
very
not
clear.
And when I met
with Department of Social Protection officials and the Minister, they were very clear about targeted measures. Clear about targeted measures, particularly in terms of the most vulnerable children in the country.
Deputy
and you just want to ignore all of that.
Taoiseach, time is up.